Welcome to Merseyside in the Movies. Earlier this month, for 2 weeks, Hollywood came to town and set up camp in various parts of the city to shoot what is possibly one of the most anticipated blockbusters on the cinematic horizon. We are, of course, talking about the up-and-coming adventure of everybody's favourite Cape Crusader, the Batman. Director Matt Reeves, who is perhaps most widely known for his excellent and recent Planet of the Apes trilogy, is directing the film, and he has assembled an all-star cast including Robert Pattinson, Paul Dano, Zoe Kravitz, Colin Farrell, Jeffrey Wright, Andy Serkis, amongst many others, as well as an equally impressive crew working behind the camera, with the film's budget estimated at being in the region of $120 million. The film is set to be the first in a new series of Batman films, with the narrative beginning with Bruce Wayne into his second year as the Dark Knight, so still relatively new to his alter ego. Filming for the production began in January this year in London, before moving to Glasgow for a few days, and it eventually arrived in Liverpool in early March. You may recall parts of the city being congested with Warner Brothers production vans as the setup to convert Liverpool into Gotham City began. However, 4 days after turning the area into the fictional American city, we went into lockdown and the production was postponed. The original release date was for spring next year. However, as filming has only just resumed this month, that has now been pushed back to March 2022. Earlier this month, Hollywood returned to Liverpool and set decoration began for a second time. This time, the cameras rolled and Batman had well and truly arrived on Merseyside. St George's Hall, Anfield Cemetery, William Brown Street, Commutation Row and the Liver Building were all extensively used during the team's time in the area. Anyone who happened to be passing by those particular locations of the previous 2 weeks may well have caught a glimpse of some of the silver screen excitement. The majority of the filming action appeared to take place around St George's Hall, which was doubling for Gotham's City Hall. Police barriers reading Gotham City Police Department were placed in and around the plateau. The cobbled streets in front of the building were filled with news vans, fire engines, and police cars, all with Gotham City branding across them. And even the famous statue of the Earl of Beaconsfield, which adorns the steps of St George's Hall, had its name plaque changed to the fictional William Gotham. If you travelled by Lime Street during this time, you will have also noticed a heavy increase in wait times for passing traffic, as the road was reduced to just one single lane in each direction. However, those lucky enough to be travelling on double-decker buses would have had an unobstructed view of the action whilst in the traffic jams. Many of the leading cast were seen filming what appeared to be a memorial scene to a recently deceased mayor. A framed photograph of the character was placed on the steps, surrounded by hundreds of floral tributes as characters appeared as if they were paying tribute to the official. Later in the week at the same location, spectators in the area were able to catch a glimpse of SWAT teams running around the area, with some police on horseback and others with sniffer dogs in tow. Just around the corner from St George's Hall on Commutation Row and around the Wellington Memorial, the area was converted to look as if a Halloween street party was taking place. Pumpkins lined the square, smoke filled the air from street vendors, giant TV screens advertising American products lit up the area, and this all took place on the final night of filming, which lasted from 8 p.m. on Friday the 16th of October until 6 a.m. on Saturday the 17th. Up to 200 extras were also used in this scene, with each one in fancy dress, enjoying the carnival atmosphere of Gotham City. Anfield Cemetery proved to be an exciting area for locals, as it showed Batman and what is believed to be Catwoman racing up and down the central pathway on motorbikes in broad daylight. The start of this scene was filmed at the Necropolis Cemetery in Glasgow, and it will be merged with the Liverpool location during the edit of the film. Easily the filming location that received the most attention was a stunt which included Batman standing on top of the Liver Building, leaning over the edge at a 45-degree angle as a helicopter swirled around him to film the action. This was first rehearsed in the afternoon during daylight, and with the actual stunt taking place once darkness had covered the city. I happened to be down at the pier head at the point of filming, and it is a sight that will stay with me for a lifetime. Seeing such an iconic character on top of arguably our city's most famous building was truly a sight to behold. The distance between the stunt performer and the helicopter was practically non-existent, and although we have some time to wait until the film is to be released in cinemas, I can guarantee that these scenes in particular will look outstanding on the silver screen. I managed to visit many of the filming locations during Warner Brothers' visit to the city, and if you would like to see my behind the scenes video, then you can do so by visiting the website Real Tours, and that's real with a double E, realtours.co.uk, and clicking on the YouTube link. I've been Gary, and I'll see you next time for another edition of Merseyside in the Movies.